Live.
Welcome to Jam-Stuck Pirates, a rum-fueled treasure hunt in the sharky waters around the Jam-Stuck Islands with Queen Raae. I'm your host, Captain Olav, and today's guest is the Pirate Princess. And we also have some secret guests, don't we?
We do. Do you want me to show the empty cam?
No,
No,
not yet.
not yet. Okay.
Gotta
get middle.
hemlig,
Get mid. You gotta get middle of the frame now, Willa, because I made you big.
Kan jeg si at det er?
Nei.
You already want to.
Men ikke nå, etterpå.
Okay.
Yeah, Lillian wants
So
to
Lillian
introduce
wants
the guest, the secret guest.
The
Secret
etterpå.
guest. We got an
Yeah.
extra camera going,
Nice.
everyone. A new camera angle. Oh, I see. I forgot to clean up my background,
Forbi
everyone.
skjermen. Pappa Millie løpte forbi
Yeah.
skjermen. Ellers var det chili, jeg så ikke.
Okay, that's better. Okay, are we ready? Where's our today's task? So we're kind of continuing on last week's task, which was to refactor Pruneur follows to use Xata Workers, which are serverless functions that are deployed to
Var det?
Cloudinary.
Ok.
No, not Cloudinary, Cloudflare. Why do all these things sound the same? And we're doing that because we are thinking we need to use some kind of queue system in the future to make sure we're not banned by Twitter for abusing their
banned.
API.
It's not banned.
No, it's not bad. Like we get banned for 24 hours. Like
We
if-
don't get
if we
banned.
have-
It's not banning.
it's blocking. I guess they block us for 24 hours.
Is it though?
So-
Isn't it throttling?
No, because well, maybe it is. It's like a 24-hour throttle. So what
For-
they do is that
Yeah.
for 24 hours. So if we facilitate more than 500 unfollows in 24 hours, then we are, I would say, blocked for another 24 hours. So we want to make sure
Blocked
that
from
doesn't
what?
happen. Blocked from unfollowing. So we'll get
The
we'll
API.
get a message.
Because you
From
can't say
anybody.
banned and blocked because that's what people get on Twitter. You get blocked if you tell somebody
That's
they're idiots,
That's
and then
true.
you get banned if you say something you shouldn't.
And also, by the way, Twitter has shut down a lot of third-party apps. They're saying they're enforcing limits that they never have enforced before. But anyway, I digress. So we want to use queues so that we can more easily throttle our requests, and then I thought, since we're going to be using Cloudflare queues, because I saw they had a queue system, then why not refactor to Cloudflare Workers by using Xata Workers?
That wasn't me.
So yeah, so last week we managed to get a proof of concept
No,
going
it's
where we're using oh my god, I cannot keep my words straight today. So last week we got a proof of concept going where we're using Xata Workers, which is
Yes.
kind of built on top of Cloudflare Workers. So we don't have to mess around with Cloudflare yet, but Xata will then deploy our serverless functions onto Cloudflare. And that was a task for last week, but it does not authenticate our users. So right now, when we're searching through accounts, we're searching through the accounts of anyone using the application instead of just searching through the user or the accounts that the logged in user is following. So I'm going to share my screen, share my code, and show you where we're at and see if we can make this work. We have, here's the code from last time where we refactored all of our search logic into a Xata worker, and then we use that Xata worker to search accounts. So instead of here kind of calling out an API endpoint like we were using before with Gatsby functions, we're just calling that Xata worker that we defined above here. But what happens is when we do Xata upload or worker upload, it will take this code and then bundle it and send it to Cloudflare, while the code below here will be a part of the Gatsby site. So we're still kind of calling out to another server, but it like seems like it's all in the same code. So what I want to do today is that up here we need to authenticate, and then we'll need to add a filter. And I think the filter is kind of added here. Let's see where we did that before. So we're searching. Yeah, so we need to have a filter under the target. And then we need to add some sort of add filter to only search authenticated users follows.
Yes.
So this is all part of Prune Your Follows, which is our fun little project that lets you unfollow Twitter followers. So we'll show you the functionality that we are refactoring at this moment. So I'm going to authorize as Raae here. So this is the production application, but we're going to be working on localhost, but I just wanted to show off what we're doing. So if we search here now, we can do Alice, which has become our default example. And you can see that we are actually getting results for Alex because Xata has fuzzy search by default. So this is kind of the functionality that we're trying to get on over to these kind of Xata worker architecture. So here somewhere we need to authenticate, and then we need to add that filter because we already have the rest in place. And if we have a look at what we already did, so we have a wrapper here where I do like little things. So what we used to do was just do get token and send in the request. So we're using NextAuth here, and NextAuth behind the scenes is grabbing a environment variable called NextAuth secret. It's using that, and then it's using the request, and then it's making sure that we have an authenticated user. So if I kind of copy paste that over to our use search, so we want to do some authentication here. But when it comes to these Xata workers, and I've been told it's the same with the Cloudflare workers, is that, or maybe not, but anyway, we don't have access to kind of our process ends that we have access to in our Gatsby project, because this little code, it's only the code that's in this function that kind of gets bundled up and put into Cloudflare. So it doesn't have access to all of that other kind of bootstrapping that Gatsby does, where it gives us the environment variables. But I was told by Xata that if we do a little destructuring here, we can actually get some env variables from the arguments being sent in, and then also we have a request coming in. So we can, but we can get access to both of these. So just to make sure that we have access to the env. So to get access to like add anything to the env, we've of course already added it to our env development. I'm not going to show that because lots of secrets in there, but I've added a test environment variable. So let's see if we actually get access to that on our destructed env object here before we do anything more. So I'm just going to comment out all of this code, and then let's start seeing if we can make the authentication happen without everything else happening. So we'll console log, and then let's do env, and then I added a test. So to get these env variables into the Xata worker while we are working locally, because now we're gonna do Xata worker watch, and it will create a little local version of our Xata workers. And we're going to be using a bleeding edge alpha. So this is something that was put out for us so that we can work with environment variables in our Xata worker. It was done a couple of hours ago, so things might definitely break, but we're going to test it out. And this might not be how it will be done in the future. So we'll have to look at the documentation. Like this might have changed, or it will most definitely have changed.
Are these
but
the
we-
breaking changes, the lots and lots of breaking changes that we were promised? This alpha?
With this alpha that I promised in my tweet, or
No, we got it in the terminal. You ran the project, and then we were promised lots and lots of breaking changes in the future.
Yeah. All of Xata Worker, like the whole Xata Worker thing, is in beta, so that will obviously most probably change. But this is like an alpha feature of a beta feature. So like what this little thing we're running right now will most definitely change, or like check out the documentation, because we are in like alpha beta land here. So if you're watching this in the future, like this might not work. That was my little disclaimer. So I've copy pasted this example from our friends. So we're at Xata CLI alpha version, blah blah blah, and we do work or watch. And then we can ask it to like grab all the end variable from one of the files we already have. So this is something I asked for because I don't want to be setting my end variables in a different way for these workers. I just want to use the file I already had. So if we run the worker watch, and then we'll also run our project. And then we'll see what we got. So do you want to talk about our secret? There's activity on our secret monitor.
Lillian, vil du komme og si hvem det som skal være med oss i dag? Den hemmelige gjesten? Is it one or more secret guests? Here comes our presenter, the Pirate Princess. Ja, si det på I will translate.
No?
Yeah.
They are goose.
Look at that.
Oh.
Both of them are there.
Hva heter de? Nei, du har jo allerede lagd navn.
Jeg glemte det.
Det står der.
Ola just asked her the names, and she's named them, but she's like,
see,
maybe.
Look,
Millie or Tilly.
Look, they're helping each other.
Yes, Millie and Tilly.
Or as I say, Millie Vanilli.
Millie.
Jeg bare tuller, Lilian.
Okay, they are now going to be a part of the show. So there they are in their own little cam. So we've gotten this little trick from our friends that taught us how to stream. Snootyland.
Join their Discord.
Yeah, join their Discord. It's a fun place to be, but they also have a little dog cam when they are streaming. But we'll have our little Degu or Degu. I don't know how we say that in English.
Millie and Tilly.
So now that we've run our Xata Worker watch, we can see that it's grabbed all of these environmental variables from our file. And just, of course, giving us the names and not the actual values, because that's great. And then we do our own console log here with env test. So let's see if we actually get my test value back. So if we go to localhost, then, since we're in localhost land,
yes,
and I got to log in again.
Oh,
something weird with localhost. Oh, there we go. They like to be on the show. Like, they're really showing off now. So you might even hear them. I don't know if can you hear the sound of them running?
I said, yeah, but I can't hear it. I can't. I have to make the sound in my head.
Okay. So let's try. Well, we're still requesting pages here. So there we go. Hello, world. So we're actually getting our environment variables. So that's great. So then to the next step is that we'll try to use this get token, because I found our plan was to follow, where's Shai's message? There. So Shai said that we could use decode directly because it can take a secret. But I also saw when I was going into the NextAuth documentation here that also get token can take a secret. So it
Ooh.
will under the hood grab this from the end variables, but if that doesn't work, like we can set it ourselves as a secret. So we're gonna try this now where we do get token and then we'll send in the request. But you can see here they name their request rec, and I
Yeah.
think Xata Workers name it request. So we have to make sure to do that correctly. And then we need to make sure to use the secret correctly. So this is like
Yes.
I've not tested this at all. So this is truly live
Coding.
professional early adopter work we're doing right here.
Yeah, I'll drink to that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So today I'm drinking my little Ramlösa from Sweden. It's just bubbly water. Just looks very pretty in the little bottle. So we'll need the rec, which is the request, and then we'll do the secret, which is then env, and I've used the same name because before it loaded it automatically, so I've used that same name. So it's .env NextAuth secret, and then let's see if we have a token, y'all.
Yeah.
So log.
That's right.
Token.
Okay.
And it looks like this has redeployed. It reads deployed automatically because we're using a Xata workers watch. So it's watching for changes in the code and then it's redeploying the workers.
Yeah.
I still don't know if this is happening locally or on like Cloudflare. I don't know where. It's probably locally. Like it makes a little local server, I would believe, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's go back and get token is not defined, of course.
We can't hear Millie and Tilly because you muted them.
Yeah, but I was thinking you could, because otherwise there's echo. But like when they're running, I can hear them very well. So I thought, because they're just sitting over there, guys.
Oh
you would know that, but they're sitting right over there.
Running. I get it.
Yeah.
No, I can't hear.
We need to grab the get token from NextAuth JVT, and
all right.
Otherwise, it's going to be hard to use. So let's try again. Okay, it's even though it broke, it's now reloading again. This is good stuff, Xata. And let's try. Process is not defined, but I gave you a secret, so you should not be looking for it. Because like it's obviously looking for like process env, I'm guessing, but since there is no process, it can't. So maybe we need to try shy. So like shy, there's like a decode, and it looks like it's here.
Yeah, because I didn't read the documentation. I just looked at it, and it seemed like they would kind of automatically detect the token themselves. And now you're kind of saying, hey, look here.
I think they are. It's because it looks,
So they probably don't like that.
Where was my old documentation? There. Yeah, so no, what is happening is that, yes, I'm giving it the request, I'm giving it the secret, but somewhere inside of the code of get token, they are asking for process.env. And since process doesn't exist, it fails. Which is not so good. Like they don't really need to look for process.env when we are giving them the secret directly.
But can't we just do exactly what they say here? Because we're not. Can't we just do that? Exactly what they say?
We are doing exactly what they say.
No, you're not. You're not. You're changing the somethings.
No, I'm taking this example directly, and then I'm giving it a request, and I'm giving it a secret. So we're doing the same, but somewhere inside of the get token code, they're asking for process, and that doesn't work.
There actually is some process thing in the docs there, if you go back.
Yeah, but we don't have, we can't do this because we're in the Xata worker. That's why we're trying to do it the other way.
But can't we just do this and try to see if it works first?
No, because it won't work. That's what we tried to do last week. But that doesn't work.
So that's why we need the decode thing from Shy then, probably.
Yeah, so let's try. Yeah, so let's try the decode way. So and pass it the token from request headers and the secret from. So if we try to do decode instead, let's see. Decode. And it's going to need probably the secret. So let's try and do the same. As I said in the announcement tweet, this stream might not work at all. So decode. And we need, so the secret, but then we need to figure out. So let's jump into, because he's referencing Auth.js, which is the new kind of next major version of NextAuth. They're renaming to Auth.js and trying to get away from being next specific. But I didn't really want to upgrade Auth.js as well. So that's why we're trying to do this with NextAuth. But let's go on over to their actual code here and look at their latest version. NextAuth packages, and then core source JWT, and then let's do decode. Or we can start by looking at the get token documentation and see why this is failing. So if we go to get token, let's see if we can find the get token code here. Look, it's asking for, is there a process env URL? And since process does not exist, it's failed because then it can't find any env on process. So this line of code will fail right away. That's why we can't use get token. So even if we're setting that secret directly here, it's still kind of not working because it's looking for these things. But we could maybe, if we set the secure cookie and cookie name, if we set the secure cookie, that might work. Let's set this as well. So we've set the secret, and then let's set this part ourselves. Okay, so let's do get token again. We have the request, but then we also need this cookie thing. And let's set that then to our env NextAuth URL, because we already have set that. And then it starts with HTTPS or and process secure cookie. Yes, so let's set this to true. It only needs to be true. Now this might work, because then we're bypassing this call to process env, and we're bypassing this call to process env, and then let's hope there's no more process envs in here. It shouldn't be. I love this when they set, it's a very good way to set, or maybe not. No, because they're not doing it. See, there's so much code because it's, yeah. Okay, let's try. Because this is TypeScript code. I'm not as good at reading that.
What's the question?
Yeah, I'm not sure we're gonna bypass this because I think they set. Yes, we are. We're gonna be able to bypass that. Okay, let's try again.
Yes. 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 Yes.
At least we didn't get an error. We got token null.
And that's what we want?
No, we want there to be a token since we have an authenticated user. But at least we're not getting just random errors.
Yes. We got a step. It's
so
a
let's
step.
Sign out. It's a step.
You like it.
Let's sign in again and let's see if it works. Otherwise, we'll need to use, because it might be that our request object is not following the request object that they would like to see since we're getting the request through a Xata worker.
Yeah. Those little degus, it's called. I say it's a kind of a squirrel with a little tail.
Oh, token is still null.
They almost fell asleep last night. We had them in the little, you have these cat cages where you carry the cat, and they almost fell asleep when Lillian was going to bed, the pirate princess. But then we put them into the big cage, and they had a party for like 3 hours in there, testing out every toy, and they're running in the little wheel and bathing in the sand bath, and they were like just like insanely loudly chewing on wooden stuff, and they were just like partying it up, and they were so tired today. You should have seen them. They were like sleeping for hours and hours, and they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to be active. Sorry, I have a question.
Oh, maybe we need to set the secure cookie to false since we're in localhost, because localhost will probably not be in HTTPS. Okay. Let's see if it works then. No, the token is still null. What more is in this code? Request, secure cookie, and then it's a decode logger. The secret, let's give it its secret. Okay, let's see what it's expecting to get on request. So it's gonna do request cookies and request headers. So do we have any cookies and headers on our request object? Okay, so we are just gonna console log our request and then console log our token.
Is it inside the body? We have an object inside the body there.
I think it's gonna be on headers. Oh, this is where my knowledge kind of fails. Let's see what's in there at least.
I remember we did that when we were doing Gatsby functions. We had body and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. But here we're kind of outside of the body more.
I see headers list.
Is there a headers?
Headers
list. Headers. Oh, so it's called a headers list and not a header. Okay.
And also prevent no cache bloody header modification.
Yeah. So let's see. What was it asking for again? It was asking for request cookies and request headers. So let's see if that is actually on here. So headers, let's do request headers and then cookies request. We might have to use that destructure, not the decode thing, but let's just go down this rabbit hole a little bit longer. And let's see what we're finding. Okay, let's try again. I should probably find a better way than manually defining. Okay, so cookies is undefined. Headers is... Yeah, so the header is a header list. So the header looks like it's correct.
All right. Look at all this stuff.
The cookies, but are we using cookies or are we using headers? Where can I find the cookies? Let me have a look at our auth.
I just learned today from Vespos that that local storage is kind of like cookies. It's just easier to use.
Yeah. So how do I know if we're using the cookie version of NextAuth or not?
But is JVT a cookie? JWT? Isn't that a kind of cookie?
It's a token, but you could set it as part of the header, or you could set it as it as part of the header bearer token, or you can set it as a cookie.
Okay.
And it looks like we're not getting any cookies. So I just have to make sure that we're using the bearer. I don't know which one is the default of NextAuth, because I'm not that. This is where we'll need, we would need Shy, but I think he's sleeping.
Who's giving us cookies? Is it the NextAuth or is it Twitter?
It's NextAuth that's setting a cookie or a bearer token with our token.
I'm trying to get away. We're trying to not eat the cookie then.
Yeah, I think maybe if we're going to use it with Xata Workers, it needs to be not the cookie version, because that might not be possible.
Yeah.
So, but how? Okay, getting started. next. I think there's like a way here to choose if you're using the cookie version or not. Oh my, this is where I'm definitely out of my comfort zone knowledge-wise, which is good. It's good to be out of your comfort zone, everyone, now and then. I remember reading something about it where it's like session versus cookies or something like that. Next, okay, so let's using get token again. Let's see what it says. JSON Web Tokens, you can use the get token, help to access the content of the JVT without having to handle the JVT decryption and relocation yourself. Secret.
Cookie. JVT cookie. It said.
Where does it say? Where?
In the green.
Where?
In the green.
Okay, yes. And the application is able to read the JWT cookie, e.g. it's on the same domain. I guess that's the problem. They're not on the same domain.
Yeah. No.
Not
There it says
specified
decode
adapter.
methods. See the
Yeah.
override JWTVG
Yeah.
decode methods. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to override them though, but
Isn't
we
that what
do-
decode is? I thought it was.
Yeah, because see, for convenience, this helper function is also able to read and decode tokens passed from the authorization bearer token.
Oh, that's something
So
else.
we need to
then.
figure out where these tokens
Oh, no,
are.
okay, so the bearer token is the header, and the cookie token is the cookie.
Mm-hmm.
Cookie.
But I don't think we get access to the cookies. Let's see what more Shai wrote.
But can we just pretend that it's the
From
header since we can't use the cookie?
Yes, I think so. But then I think maybe we need to, because we did have, so we had in our headers, did we have a token there? Our bearer token? Except same site. Yeah, it looks like we're not getting. It looks like we're not getting any of that information.
But could this be the bearer token without them actually saying bearer token? If you know what I'm saying.
NextAuth Cloudflare. Let's see what it says.
You try to do search and you only got hits on yourself.
Did I? Well,
Yeah. It was only you. Nothing else ever showing up as like the. Oh no. No.
Yeah, we returned. That's great, this case, but you can't deploy. Yeah. My reception. But now the external open needs to validate the request from the client. It tries to find out how to validate the JVTV, but looks like the client doesn't have access to the raw token. You can only I should go.
It said
So what
something
does-
about next now support something.
Yeah,
in the
well, that's
comment
for
there.
next. We don't want to. We're not using
Okay.
next. Decode. So there we just need the token and the secret, but that's the thing. Where is our token? Where
It's
is our
there.
token?
It's there. Params JVT decode params.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's we need to give the decode function its params. So we need to find it somewhere. And it's not on here. So let's see if we have some. So okay, we don't have request cookies. But let's go back to our request object and see if we can do, let's just do a big old JSON stringify.
But look, stop. It's you here it says symbol headers map sorted. So the green stuff here in the terminal, that's headers. Cookies undefined.
Yes,
Doesn't that mean
because
that
we
it's
were.
headers and not cookie?
I'm hoping there's a cookie there somewhere, but it's just called something else. That's what I'm. So let's just stringify the whole thing. And let's see what happens if we look at our whole request, see if there's any tokens in there. See, because that's the thing. I don't know where these tokens are in this request. Oh, look at this. Lots of nice stuff. Let's see if we can find some cookies in here. Probably giving away some secrets at this point.
Did you find it?
I don't know.
SHA-1. That sounds good.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? There are at least some like good stuff in here. I'm just hoping there's no...
Headers, true. No, headers. No, headers is empty.
Okay, let's see.
Longitude. Oh my, it's trying to find out where we are. You evil cookie, you.
It's
What was
giving a
that?
lot of
Till?
information.
Oh yeah.
We're in Viken. We are not in Viken.
Yes, yes.
Kidding me? This is
Yes.
not our postal code. That's not good stuff. Anyway, okay, so let's don't save this. I might have to give up at some point because I don't know where to find these like token, like this token thing. But maybe we need to set it in some way. Let's go back to our next. I know there was a guides here. Because there's like how are we setting these things on our queries? That's what I'm wondering.
Oi! Look at that! Tilly is bathing. Oh, into the wheel. Let's
the
run.
wheel.
Run. Run.
Da-da-da-da. Hello.
She took a bath. Oh, nice. Is that Millie? Yeah. Den svarte, ikke sant?
Ja,
Ja.
tror det.
She took a bath and then she took a run.
Jeg tror det. Altså.
Cookies a chunk, meaning they reach. Okay.
But when
Tradition.
you're filming them now, can they see themselves on the screen or the phone?
No,
No.
they cannot.
Okay, good. Because she was looking into the camera. Danger.
But what if I want to make a call without setting a cookie? I want to use a bearer token instead. Let's see. Look at that bearer token.
Oh yeah.
Also able to read and decode tokens passed in an HTTP bearer header. But how do I put it there? With NextAuth.
It's stored in session token something. Here, the JVT is stored in note.
Yeah, but that's a cookie. But I want to send it as a bearer token instead of...
But maybe it looks like you're just importing it. It says there import from NextAuth. Are we doing that? Importing JVT? JW2? Justin.
Okay, so... So what I want to do is that I want to set it. So what happens is that we log in. I'm going to talk you through it. So we log in.
Yeah.
And then the client, aka the browser, sets a token. No, the server sends a token, sends it back to the browser.
But
and then that the server sets a cookie. And then that cookie, the server and the browser like shares that cookie information. Like cookies, I never learned about This is hopefully nobody watches this. And then but then we are talking to a Cloudflare worker, which is not kind of on the same domain. It's not getting the same cookies. So then we need to take that token and put it from the cookie and put it on the request we're doing to the Cloudflare worker or the Xata worker.
Yes.
Yeah. But, and I don't know the word, like in my head, this makes sense, but I can't. So I think
But
it's
it looked
like
to me like in the docs they were just importing the
yeah, but
JWT straight.
they're importing different helper functions. They're not just importing the JWT. The
Oh.
JWT, the JSON web
Bleh.
token is the secret that nobody else knows than the kind of the browser server together. Like they've made an agreement, they created a JSON web token, and then we need to kind of we have to make sure that token is sent with our request. But I don't know how to send it with the request when the cookie is not, because the cookie is not sent over to the Xata workers, I guess.
So we have a problem here, the JWT thingy, and we're trying to get around that problem. But to fix it, we need it.
We need it to be on the request to the Xata worker so that we can access this in the Xata worker and then decode it using the get token method or the decode method.
Or is it because we're not defining the encode at the same time?
Voters know if a session is valid, client side. If a data on the page is first using a call to secure API, get token, get session with next middleware. Get session. Oh my god, might not be able to using get token. If you're using JSON web token, you can use a get token helper message. Yes, that's what we're trying to. And the application is able to read the JWT cookie EGs on the same domain, which it cannot do because it's not on the same domain. So that's why we need to set it as a bearer. We need to set it as part of the headers as a bearer token. But how do we set it as a bearer token? We need to get the token in our client some way and then set it onto our search account, which I don't think we can do.
But what happens if you just pretend to have it? If you just make a variable, if you know what I'm saying, putting it in. Do we need like the stuff that's inside, or can we just pretend to have it?
We can pretend, but then we won't have an authenticated user.
No, but then we can kind of
so the server encrypts the server
so just
encrypts
get a step further.
No, because then we're back where we were, where we didn't have an authenticated user. It all works, but we need to get like the search functionality works. We did that last week, but now we need to make sure we get the correct information for the correct authenticated user. So if we're like fake this, we're just as far as like there's no point in faking it. But I'm guessing we could just set it on here, but how secure is that? Like if we just set our token on here, I think because I only used Next.js for this part. So if we do the use session, let's see what we get. Because I think maybe the use session has the token in there. So if we go to our client-side code and we do const.
But are we also using encode? Because it said we have to do both of them to make it work.
Yeah, so the encode. Yeah, so that is what's happening automatically here in our in our NextAuth. Like when we're configuring NextAuth,
but
is
it
part of
said
what
that we
we're
needed
doing.
to use both methods, encode and decode, to get it to work.
Yeah, so we're using the default encode and decode methods. So that is what happens automatically by NextAuth. That's what it's doing for us. So by creating these paths here, Gatsby function paths, it's doing all of that for us. But then
you're making the JWT here, up there, async.
No, I'm setting some extra stuff on the JWT. So I'm taking the JWT that NextAuth is doing by default for us, and then I'm adding some information because I want that information on the server side, no, on the client side. But I think we're onto it if we get the session.
Yeah.
If we get the session, then data as session equals use session, because I think the session then has our token on there. Now it's starting to make sense. And then we'll do session token. So a token is an encrypted piece of information. And we have that's what the NextAuth secret is used for. It creates the encryption, and then it sets it on the cookie so that we can talk back and forth. But now we need to get that encrypted token and send it into our Xata function.
Yes.
So let's do that and see if we get a token here. We're still running. Oh, we soon have to finish. Let's hope this kind of works. But I don't know if this is the...
Are you building again? Are you building? So the Pirate Princess is making invitations for her birthday.
Oh, she is.
Og når du har bursdag, Lilian, skal du vise fram Milli Vanilli til til barna?
Ja, kanskje. Kommer an på hvilket humør de i.
She will show them off, Millie and Tilly, to the kids if they're in a good mood. To the kids at the birthday.
Okay. So we're trying to use session from NextAuth React. What do we get on this session? Okay, we don't get the token on there. How can I get the token client side from the... Maybe I need to read it from the cookie and then set it on the... When I request from the Xata worker. Oh my God. Why am I not under getting this?
There they do. They do it. They call both the encode and the decode. They did it.
Yeah, no. This is all of the configuration stuff. This is the login stuff. When you click login on Twitter, this is what happens. And then that JWT is set. But we need to get access to it. Tutorials. No, advanced. Using magic links.
No, we hate magic links. Oh, Inesa is here. He's here.
Hi. This is not working.
Howdy.
Howdy.
How's the weather in Canada? Are you having snow? We had snow today.
We don't want the access token. We want the freaking... I don't think we're going to solve this. Client API. Create session, get session.
That's fine. Look at this. We have tons of snow in Canada. Help! Yes. Yes. I've been to Canada. I've been there. But it was kind of springtime or something, I think. No snow. Oh, I was there in the summer once too, actually. Back in 2000. Yeah. You know, Ines, I sailed to Canada. I sailed there. Yeah. I took 10 months. Yeah. Yeah, summer is better. That's the same in Norway. So how is your not so secret thing anymore going? Are you done? Or maybe you were already done back in the when you tweeted it. Ten months, I see. That's long. Yeah, it is. It is. It is. Yeah. My recommendation if you're going for a trip like 10 months or something, be very careful who you bring on board, because yeah, we actually had to send a guy back to Norway from the Canary Islands, and but that's a long story. Should I tell the long story now, Queen?
Yes. Tell the
Right.
long story.
So, oh, look at this! Yes, our Shopify app is finally out. We're working on marketing it. Okay, so what's the link, Inessa? Tell us. You can't write it as a link though. You have to just like give me something I can search on Google, because YouTube don't like links. Is that why? It is why, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, they don't
Okay,
like it.
tell your story and I'll do some.
Okay. So we're sailing. We sailed from Norway down to the Canary Islands. It was good, but my father's buddy was supposed to join us. I need to stand up for this story. Sorry about that. He was supposed to join us. He had like my father's buddy, Lee. He was British. He had like this golden tooth there, and his neck was like this. He was like a real pirate. He was never shaved, but he always kept it kind of, unshaven. Yeah, he was a proper pirate. But he didn't come with us on the trip because his girlfriend said no. And my father was like, he's been going on for 10 years, how he's like the man's man and he's like the boss of his woman and everything. But when it comes down to it, he wasn't the boss. Anyway, so when we came to the Canary Islands, we had a chance to get a guy on board that was my father's age, and he wanted that because we were all like these young dudes and ladies on the boat. So we got this guy down, and he was a cook. He was a great cook from northern Norway, big guy, and he was cooking lunch every day, and it was never enough. It was good, but it was way too little. We weren't like remotely full, So we tried talking him into making more food and stuff. And he was there was this little kitchen, and he was this big guy who was standing like this in the kitchen cursing in northern Norwegian, and we had this stove where we have to put like actual like liquor stuff on to reheat it, and then you could turn on the propane. But he didn't do that. No, it wasn't propane, it was something else. So, but he didn't do that. He just turned it right on, put a fire to it, and it was like this, kaboof, and the smoke was just like coming around his head. And anyway, so, and he never remembered how to use the stove, and he never cooked enough food. And then we tried talking, we like took turns each day trying to talk him into making enough food. And in the end, we had this guy. He was an officer in the Norwegian army, and he was like, "Okay, guys, I'm gonna make him make enough food." So he made a bet with the cook. He said, "I bet you can't make so much food that we can't actually eat all of it. I'll bet you a beer. And the cook was like, "You're on." So he cooked. He took we had these big casseroles. So he took the 3 of our biggest casseroles. They were enormous, and he cooked in there like pasta with some cheese sauce. And yeah, he was right. We couldn't even eat like a third of it. It's way too much. And everybody was so happy that night. We went to the pub. He got his beer and we were drinking. And my father was happy because, yeah, the cooks finally works and everything was great, you know. The next day, he cooked too little food again. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Ineza. Reverse psychology. That's right. It totally worked. And he cooked a little food. And then my sister, because my sister was there too, she was my younger sister, she said to me and my father, "Let's go for a walk. We're going ashore. We're just going to take a little stroll." And my father was like, "Oh no, oh no." So we walked ashore on this tiny little island in the Canary Islands. It's called La Graciosa. It's just 300 inhabitants. We walked there and my sister said, "You know, this cook dude, he's got to go. He can't stay. He's going home." And my father was like, "No, please let him stay. Let him stay. He's so much fun." And my sister was like, "No, he's going. He's got to go." And then my father, so that's the thing with my sister. She barely, yeah, there's so few times I've heard her like actually complain about something. And especially like when she like puts down her foot, as we say in Norway, like here's the line, this is it, then we just have to give in. So we sent him home on a plane back to northern Norway. And this was in the middle of the winter, just like now. And then he came on the airport, and his ex-wife picked him up, and he had on like his Hawaiian shirt and his shorts and sandals. That was his clothing, and it's freezing cold in northern Norway in the winter. And she was like, "Dude, you gotta dress up because you can see the snow out there. You gotta." And he was like, "Yeah, no, this is what I got. I don't have any other clothes." And she was like, "So where's your luggage then?" And he was like, I don't know. I don't know where my luggage is." "Okay, but you got your keys, right? Because you're going to your place, not my place. You're not staying at my place." And he was like, "No, I don't even have pockets actually on these shorts here." And she was like, "Oh, man. Okay, I'll take you to the hospital. I'll take you to the hospital. That's the only place we're going. We're not going to my place." So they went to the hospital, and he kind of explained, and he tried to answer questions and stuff. And the doctors were like, "Yeah, we're going to check your head, man. There's something wrong with your head. We're checking your head." So they went in and they checked his head. They scanned his head, and it turned out he had like, I don't know how big, but in my mind it's this big. He had an ulcer, like a cancer thing in his head, like the size of a fucking fist, or maybe it was smaller. But anyway, he needed to get surgery or he would have died on the ship. Like, and we were going to cross. Yeah, the pirate princess said, "Can you tone it down, please? You're very loud." I can't hear my audiobook. Yeah. So we were real happy that we sent him home. He could have died on the ship in the middle of the ocean, and we would have had to bury him at sea or, something. You know what they do when they bury people at sea? Queen?
No.
They put him into like sailcloth, the whole body. And then,
is this an appropriate conversation
and
topic?
dump them in the sea with something heavy so that they sink. You don't want them to float up.
This stream just
You sew
took a
them
very...
up, and then the last.
Okay, that's enough. It's enough. Please.
All right. Okay. So what do you say?
I say that we're not going to figure this out today.
I love it. I love it. That's great. I like that. We should quit now while it's an hour.
But I think in my mind...
But Inesa, you must send us the name so we can show people the app. Your app. Your Shopify app. Say what I should Google. What's his company again? Something bits.
But so the point of your story though was that like it was very good that he got sent home and then he survived. Otherwise, he wouldn't have survived. Like, you know.
We should listen. You know, if you have a little sister, you should listen to her every now and then.
You should
That's
listen
kind of
to
the
your little.
point.
That's the point. Listen to your little sister.
Yeah, especially. But if she's very whiny, then you can't. That's little sisters shouldn't be whining. We just launched Context,
Okay.
the Shopify app. Okay, I found it.
Where are you
I
seeing
found
these? I'm not seeing the comments.
it's not in the comments.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So,
Can I share it? No, tell me when I should share it. I found it.
yeah. Ulla's been on some adventures. That is definitely true, Ineza. I think I realized what my missing piece is.
Oh yeah.
And that
Okay.
is okay. So let me Okay. So somehow we need to get the JSON web token that NextAuth makes for us.
Yeah.
We need to get it here. So like we need to get it client side and then we need to send it to our search account Xata worker.
Okay.
And since it's a cookie, we need to grab it from the cookie and then send it to our Xata worker.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to use the decode, like Shai said, with only our JSON web token and our secret, so we can decode it and get the information that's in that token. Because if we are able to decode the token, we will get the information about the person that was logged in. So there's a person logged in our client side code, and then we need to get that encrypted token or web token, and then we need to send that to our Xata worker, and then we can decrypt it. And if we are able to decrypt it, then we know that we have our authenticated user.
All right.
But why this was working with Gatsby functions is that the Gatsby functions and our client side are on the same domain, so they can share cookies, while these Xata workers are on a different domain, which means they are not getting the cookies.
Oh no.
I think that is where the problem
And that's why we
lies.
should have. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right.
But I think we'll be able to make it work, because we will need this when we do the queues. Like we will need to be able to know, like in the queue, who is trying to unfollow, right?
Yeah. Do we?
'Cause-
Can we give them some other thing? If we just
So-
needed to queue them up, we don't really need to know who they are. We just need to know that they're. Oh, yeah, we do. We
yeah,
do
but then
need to know who they are.
anybody could just call our backend function or like
No,
our server
no, I
function.
have it. I have it. We are making. Now you're making a queue for everybody, but we don't need that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to prioritize the queue so that somebody comes ahead. So you can just make a queue for the prioritized people in some other way. And we can like let them in through somewhere or something, and then just manually give them something to represent them. Just like we did when we gave them avatars that were fake.
Yes, but the thing is, for this to be secure, our server functions can never take any of the data it gets to be true. So we need to make sure that we have an authenticated user before we do anything. So before we put anything into the queue, before we do anything, we need to make sure that that we are sure that it was the authenticated user that sent us that information. And the only way to do that is to then decrypt this token. And that token, like it could be anything in there, but we need to have something that we can validate that this request is actually coming from an authenticated user. So this is like one of those things where as soon as you move from the front end to the back end, like you think like, oh, I'll just send something from the front end to the back end. Like if you have a form or anything on your front end. And if you just have a form, it's fine. Like anybody could send that form, but you can never trust that the data coming into your back end or your serverless functions, you can never trust that that information is the correct information or coming from the person that says that they're sending it.
Yeah.
So we'll need to send in something, and we could send in their Twitter access token and then use that Twitter access token because that is a way to authenticate them, but we still need to grab that token. So yeah, we need some way to make sure that when we are in our Xata worker, we have to make sure that the request to that Xata worker is coming from a user that has authenticated.
Yeah.
And we can't just trust that like if they send in their user ID, like that is not something we can trust. We need something that's encrypted that we can decrypt to make sure that it's the correct user. And that is what NextAuth is trying to like help us with. And as long as we were on the same domain, it kind of just did that for us.
Squirrel,
Yeah.
squirrel.
The Degu.
Look, running. Millie look.
But at least we got our like NextAuth secret. And we'll probably need to use the decode functionality here.
Yeah.
And then we need to send in the token, and we need to get that token from somewhere.
Yeah.
We need to get the encrypted token from somewhere.
We just keep on later. Next time. Oh, okay. Introduce you. Okay, I will. Okay, Inessa says I should introduce him to Millie and Tilly, but I will do that when you're ready. And when I do that, I will also share his app. So you say when you feel that's a good time to share his Shopify app and stuff.
Yep. I'm just gonna...
I'll do that soon, Inessa.
We'll just do a little bit of a like VIP authenticate in worker. Not ready. VIP is work in progress. So what I'm trying, like what I said, is like somewhere in here, we need to get the token, and then we need to send that token in here. Grab that token from somewhere.
She's baiting. She's baiting in the sand. That's Tilly. Tilly bader. Or hun bader kanskje ikke, hun ligger liksom stille oppi bassenget. Ja, men du kan ikke gjøre det nå, Lilland. Du kan ikke kopiere nå.
Okay.
Okay.
I get so sad when we're not like...
No, stop it. I'm going to share my screen now. Okay.
Yes.
You say when you're ready, but you can't just...
I'm not gonna... I'm ready.
Present?
Look. Oh, Millie is showing our...
How do I click share screen?
You click share screen.
No, I don't have it here.
You do present.
Present. They changed the name. Yeah.
I don't think I have any. I don't think there's any battery left on the Millie and Tilly cam. Sorry, Inessa.
No, I'll introduce him. Do you see it now? No, you don't. Okay, here comes. Here comes. How to use context to personalize online shopping with Shopify. Okay, I don't know anything about this, but that does not look like Inessa to me. So it's to personalize your something. Dilemma. To introducing contexts. Here. You go here or there and use it, but I don't get what's it for.
I think it is when you're like shopping if you have a lot of Shopify products and you have information about the person who is shopping, you could give
Yeah.
them more relevant products depending
Yeah.
on the information you have about them, the location, their interest, and that kind of thing.
Personalized customer experiences. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need a developer. That's great. Can fit into budgets. That is good. We like budgets. Very good.
Pappa.
I like it. This is what Ines has been building. And now I'll introduce you to Millie and Tilly. They're no longer on screen, but it's the birthday gift for the pirate princess. We have been talking about this since this summer, like actually. And then finally they got him in the store this Monday. They call us up. So we went there yesterday and got him. We picked them up at the store. They're like
We did.
squirrels with smaller tails.
They're called a Degu.
Yeah.
Mill and Tilly.
They're
So
very
I'm
active.
gonna make sure to have a cord connected to the phone next time, so we get a Millie and Tilly cam
Yes.
that will work the whole time.
Yes, it was great seeing them on TV.
So next week we will probably not be able to finish this, because next week on Thursday at 5 o'clock Central European time, I will be speaking at the jam.dev. And then at 7, we'll be doing something a lot easier than what we're trying to do today. Maybe Ola shall code.
No. I can try to lead you through it. I've been trying to code this stuff, and I don't like it. I don't like it.
So next week we're gonna be adding a open graph image to the Prune Your Follow site, because we still don't, even though it's been out for months now. So we're gonna get through that kind of chore next week, and then I guess in 2 weeks' time we'll pick up this this work. And I will have researched a little bit more before then, because now I got my thinking. I probably wouldn't have done anything with this if it wasn't for this stream. So now I kind of got my thinking cap on, and I'll be writing some emails about this so people can learn alongside us.
Yeah.
Yep.
You like this kind of thing, don't you? Where you have to explore and find out.
I do, but also, like a lot of these things just usually work, and I should know this stuff like theoretically better. So this is my time to like learn about these things better.
Practically,
like, yes.
Yeah.
But also it's like the magic, the Xata Workers do a little bit of magic. The NextAuth is doing a little bit of magic. And it's like, what magic are they actually doing, and how can they fit together?
Yeah. Are we done?
I was just gonna say, one of the Xata employees were chatting with me, and let's see, and telling him I'm not getting the cookie. You can.
You're secretly chatting with Alexis?
Yes, I am. I'm very secretly now chatting, not secretly chatting with him. So like his update worked. Like we could get the end variables in there, but we couldn't get the cookie. But like I don't think we can get the cookie in anyway. So I'll talk this through with Shai when he's awake, and then we'll see if we can't get this to work in 2 weeks' time.
All right.
Yeah. You wanna sing us out?
Yep.
Oh, wrong.
That's not my song, by the way. She's trying to drag out time now.
Oh yeah.
Every child's best trick. Kom igen, upp med dig. She's writing her invitations. And she got this brilliant idea. Now that she had to write so much, she's written 2 of them. She wants to copy them on your copier.
Oh, so she doesn't have to draw it again and again?
Oh, she made all the drawings for everybody, but
yeah, she wants to copy the information.
Yeah, the actual
that
text.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, that's a coder in making. Why should I write this this information again and again when I can
Yeah.
just copy it. That's my daughter. I'm proud.
She wrote it once and she enjoyed it, and then she wrote it one more time and she was like, wait a minute. Lilla, du må komme. Du må komme. She made 3.
Oh.
Good. 3. That's very good.
But tell her it's good that
She says
Yeah.
Hulda will get the one she made. Okay.
that's her best friend.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3.
We did a prune your follow treasure hunt with Gatsby, Queen Raae, and her guest is Pirate Princess Amelia Tilly. Na na na, ooh la.
Bye.
Bye.